Hey, welcome to my journey and to another, I started to say mini planning grocery haul, to another weigh-in video. Now, let me just tell you, I don't know what time of day or what condition you're seeing this video in because I don't have internet. I have either 4G or 5G, depending on, I think, where I am in the house, that I get through my cell phone carrier. And so I'm going to have to upload and do all the video things on my phone, and I have never done that before. So I don't quite know what to do without putting it through the editor first because I just I just that's how I do it. So anyway, but um we'll get to the weigh-in because last month I didn't give you any numbers. I said we're going to go a month. We're not going to concentrate on how much I weigh that week. I'll tell you at the end of the month. So I told you at the end of the month. Well, guess what? Now I can't remember what it was for the month. How much did I lose for that month? I think I lost as much this week as I did for the whole month. So I weighed in at 277.2 for a loss of 2.8, and that puts me, get this, 99.9. I am 0.1 away to get back to my 100 that I think was about a month ago. I think I hit 100 about a month ago. I'm 0.1 away. Doggone it. I ain't even trying to say I'm going to jinx it by talking about it. I'm going to have it next week. I'm going to go over it. So, but if I had got my little head back together in time to do it for a full week, I might have lost even more. Who knows? Because I really didn't get my head back together until, what was that, Monday? Is that when we were talking? Was it Monday? I think it was Monday. And I started doing no, maybe it was before that because I did my what I eat videos over the weekend. I didn't do one yesterday because I didn't feel like it. I've done them how many days in a row, and y'all know they get on my nerves. I know they help some of you because some of you tell me they do, and some of you could care less. That's your prerogative. Who sings that song? It's my prerogative. Bobby Brown. What was that group? What was that group he was in? What was that group? I know it wasn't him on his solo career, I don't think. Was it? Maybe it was him on his solo career. Bobby Brown was in which young boy group? I know he was in one of them, I think. Anyway, I think I had a good week. Low carb is the way for me to go. It just is. My body responds the best to low carb, whether I'm being told I have to do it, which is now, or if I'm doing it on my own. Over time, I have found out that it responds the best to staying away from the carbs. Now, I'm going to give you some TMI. If you don't like TMI, then close your ears. Do this. No, 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 no. But we have talked about this before. And as a matter of fact, see, this is why I tell things that some people might be embarrassed by. And it don't embarrass me. It is a bodily function. We're all little people in these little bodies that do all these things. We kind of all do the same thing. So what's the big deal? I talked about it before when I learned about it probably 2 years ago, and somebody told me that was happening to their grandson, and they were taking him to the doctor to make sure he didn't have the problem. When you have too much sugar in your urine, it will smell when you pee. And it's a unique smell. It's because when you eat asparagus they say makes your pee smell. Well, too much sugar in your system coming out in your urine makes it smell. I found that out from my urologist. I had went for another problem, and I told her, I said, my pee smells. I'm like, what is going on. She did my blood work because, you know, first visit, they want to know everything. She says, you have too much sugar in your body and it is releasing it. And I was also on the drug Farxiga. That was for my diabetes. That sucks out some of the sugar from your bloodstream, I guess your bloodstream, and puts it out through your urine. That's what Farxiga does. It draws, that's how it helps your numbers. It draws that sugar out of your blood, you pee it out. Well, she said that contributed to the problem. Well, ever since I had the weight loss surgery, he took me off of that Farxiga. He took me off that Farxiga in November. So I have not been on it. He took me off both my diabetes medicines. That's right. And my A1C and my blood sugars when I quit checking, were the bomb. So let me just tell you. They say having the weight loss surgery fixes diabetes. And he said we, as doctors, don't really know why, but it does. And it did. Listen, I've been to wound care. That coffee's so good. When I come in, my first cup after I've been out of the house is so good. So still, even coming off the Farxiga, it's had that same smell. Never has gone away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's too much sugar, too much sugar. That's even on the liquid diet, on the soft food diet, the whole nine, doing low carb, the whole, until this week. I kid you not. I was like, something is odd here. There was no smell at all, no scent, nothing. I'm like, could it be because I have really cut my carbs back? Maybe where they're supposed to be, that controlled that much more sugar in my bloodstream to where I don't have as much to pee out. That's the only thing I can think that changed is I went on a good strict, hardly any carb. Well, you saw what I ate. I did have carbs. There were certain days I had carbs, but I had more protein than I normally have. Even when I was trying to eat more protein. So I'm like, that's the only thing I can think of that changed. So I don't know, unless it's the antibiotic I'm on. Would it be the antibiotic I'm on? Would that change anything? That's a good question. Because you put me on an antibiotic for my leg. I think I told you that last week. Which, by the way, is healing. The nurse, she said, she turned the screen around. She showed me the picture. She said, your leg is healed up by 50%. I'm like, she said, it's 50% smaller. I'm like, what? She goes, look. So she showed me last week's picture where all the goopy was to this week's picture that has started to scab up and just a smaller goopy part. And I was like, oh, that's exciting. So there was this one little bump on it and I could feel it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels like a blister. She said, it may be blister, but dead skin. So the doctor came in and she got the little curate. And I knew what she's going to do. Oh, you should have seen. I don't want to make you gross out. You should have seen what she got off of my leg. It was just terrible. But that big bump that we felt was all just dead skin. So she just took it all off. So hopefully next week, since I'm not through with the antibiotics yet, and her getting all that dead skin off, that automatically helps it tremendously. Between the two of those, maybe I'll be healed up even 50% more off of what I got now. So fingers crossed. But back to the urine, because you know we all pee, so quit wincing. Quit drawing up about it. Stop. She said her grandson had that odd smell to his pee, and she was going to take him to the doctor to find out if he had blood sugar problems. So if you have an odd smell to your urine, and I can't describe it, Well, maybe I can kind of describe it. Y'all are gonna wonder, why'd you put up this video? Well, because these are things that help people. That's why. If it don't help you and don't apply to you, then it don't. But people that it helps, it helps. It maybe kind of smells like pinto beans. Y'all ever cook pinto beans? It's kind of a smell like that. It's not really a protein smell, but maybe kind of a protein smell. I don't know how to describe it, but if you have like a strange that starts coming on and you're wondering what it is, tell your doctor about it and see can't they check your blood sugar, because that could be a sign that you have diabetes. I'm just telling you. I'm here to help. And if it's talking about pee, it's talking about pee. I don't know what else to talk about. Ooh, yes, I do know what to talk about. I have slept in the bed for 2 nights now. In the bed. I've not been in the bed for over 2 years. What made me try it, and I've tried it all along different times. Excuse me. I would get in the bed and I'd try, I'm like, oh, I can't lay here. It's killing me. My back is killing me. Just laying there was pain. You know what I'm saying? Whatever day it was this weekend, I was in here and I was just so tired. Listen, on Oprah, when she first come on, way back in the day, there was, I don't even know what the show was about. It might have been about couples and their sex lives or something. I don't know. Because I can hear him in my head to this day. There's a man and woman on there, and they were talking about not, getting around to it. And he's like, oh, baby, when he comes home, oh, baby, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Ever since, that's what me and David will say each other if we tired. Well, oh, baby, I'm so tired. Listen, honey, I was so tired. I just wanted to stretch out. I didn't want to sit in a chair. I didn't want to sit in this chair. I didn't want to sit in that chair. I just wanted to stretch out. So I went in and I laid on the bed and I fell asleep. I don't know how long. I don't even know how long I was asleep. It wasn't long. It was like a little cat nap. And when I got up, I was able to get up. I was able to get off of the bed. The last time I tried, I couldn't get off the bed without, you know what I'm saying? And this time, I mean, I had to hold on, but the pain, as far as just doing like that, it wasn't there. So I told David, I said, I'm going to try sleeping in the bed. Well, I didn't that night because I was so exhausted. I went in there and sat down because, see, I'm going to have to take my CPAP machine from in the living room to in the bedroom, and I was so exhausted. I just collapsed in the chair. I'm just like, I just can't do it. I was so tired I couldn't even take that CPAP machine in there. So the next night I took it. So I've been in the bed for 2 nights now. Now, yesterday I was able to, I went to bed early and I woke up at my normal like 2 o'clock time, but I was able to like go back to sleep for another hour or so. I think I got up at 4 maybe. Maybe I was up at 2:30 and got up at 4, something like that. Well, this morning, last night, I made myself stay up, and I was up until 9:30. And for me, that is huge because there's some days I'm asleep before David even leaves to go to work, and he leaves at like 20 to 9. Some days I will cook supper, eat, and go to sleep, and I mean I'm done for the day because I was up the other night. I was up at midnight, so I'm in this cycle that I can't quite break, I can't quite get out of. And so this morning I was up at 2. I'm like, oh, here we go again. But I stay up till 9:30, so I slept from 9:30 to 2, which for some people that would probably be enough. For me, apparently it is not, because I was in there and my internet, like I said, is out. But I was watching Criminal Minds on YouTube TV on my phone, and I was sitting back here and I was getting sleepy. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go lay back in the bed. I'm not gonna sit here and be sleepy. I'm gonna go get back into bed. So I got back into bed. I kind of had a hard time going to sleep, but I got like another half hour in. So I'm hoping maybe trial and error, I can keep trying, this, that, and the other, and get a regular night's sleep, get up at a regular time in the morning, go to bed at a decent time at night. That's not as soon as it gets dark outside, If it's dark, I'm done. So that's big news for me to be in the bed. Big news. Huge news. So I don't know what else to talk about. Holly and Jacob come yesterday. Lord, that little boy, if I tell y'all one time, I tell y'all 100 times. He's so smart. He is so smart. Oh my gosh. All this baby sign language, it's not baby sign language. It's sign language and he's a baby. But it's real sign language, American Sign Language. It's not like sign language just for a baby to know. It's sign language that, that is American Sign Language. And he will talk to you through that sign language. He's starting to say his words. So he is saying words. He's just been able to communicate. Before he had the ability to start saying words. He's been talking to her through sign language since he was, he's 1 now, but he's 18 months. Yes, well, a little over 18 months. But he's been doing it since he was a year old. He's been doing sign language because she's taught it to him, so he could tell her, and he knows hurt. He'll tell you he fell down one time and he told her hurt, whatever hurt was, she told me. And he knows so many words, but he's starting to say them now too, not just sign them. But the things he was communicating to her yesterday, she put his shoes on and he starts doing car. She started laughing. She said he's wanting in the car. He was ready to go outside. I think that's really what he wanted to do. He wanted to go outside because oh my gosh, he loves it outside.
I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network. You might want to check the connection settings in the Google Home app.
Who pulled her chain? That was the Google Home Mini. I ain't been able to reconnect her since we got this new internet. I can't figure out. She tells me, I looked it up. It says go in the app and it tells you what to do. Well, my app don't look like what it tells you what to do, so I'm just going to unplug her and throw away what I'm going to do. I ain't going to fool with her no more. I use her in here for doing math and just asking her questions, just like I do Alexa in there. It's very handy to have. But anyway, he plays outside. They got like this little thing with a swing and a slide on it, and he can climb on it, and he's learning to climb on it himself and slide down. And boy, he pitches a fit. She said whenever she has to bring him back inside, he pitches a hissy fit. Listen, you don't just have to be a Southern woman to pitch a hissy fit. You can be a little 1-year-old boy too. She sent pictures yesterday. She had fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. Lord, the picture, she said that boy, he was tearing up a piece of chicken. He had macaroni and cheese on his whole face was orange. And he had a piece, she gave him a chicken breast. He was, picture, shot to shot to shot. He was tearing that chicken up. He take after his papa. Listen, he come in and papa wasn't here. He had to run take something to the doctor to get signed. Well, he come in, and I always say, who's that in my house? And she put him down. I said, you better come and give me a hug. And he come running up to me and hugged up on me. Got my kisses and my hugs. I can't wait for Sebastian. 1 more month. I'm going to get my kisses and my hugs on him because he runs up to me too. And so he got through and he stood over there and he looked over at the couch. He said, Papa. I'm like, yep, that's Papa. He's not here right now, but that's where Papa sits. And so he said, Papa. So he said, Momo. He come in the door talking about Momo. I mean, he says words. He just communicates very well with sign language. He knows banana now. He was doing that. She showed him. She held up my banana. She said, "Jacob, what's this?" He starts doing his little hand. You peel it down. However you do it, you peel down. That's for banana. He was doing whatever he was doing. He was peeling it. She said, "Yep, that's it." So it's pretty good. But they're enjoying being down there in their house. She's loving it. David, he said yesterday, he said it was worth every dime to see how happy she is. She has just like let out a sigh of relief getting out on her own. Just her and her little family. She's just like her ears, her shoulders went from being up and under her ears to dropping down, being relaxed. He said he don't remember seeing her so happy. He says it's worth every dime we've spent. I said, yes, it was. They was talking about, Lord help us, she want a garden, which that's fine. Daddy say he'll give her a garden. The whole time I've been in this house, since 1998, he won't plant nothing in this yard for me. You can't plant it out there, blah, 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 blah. That's all I've heard. So I quit asking, right? Well, you can. There's all kind of ways. He thinks if you can't go out there and plant this big ass garden, if you ain't got the thing and all the stuff in it for the moisture, the whole garden thing, because he knows gardens. I'll tell you, if anybody knows gardens, he knows gardens. So I've never been able to plant anything out here. Baby girl wants a garden. Oh, well, we will do this and this and this. I told Holly, I said, well, if you do a garden, I wouldn't mind getting in on it with you. I said, I'll come down there and help you work it, and then we just split the produce, She says she don't want nothing too big. She don't want to, like, right out the gate, learn how to garden and can and do all that at the same time. She don't want nothing too big right now. She would like to, like, work up to it. And then she asked RJ, and RJ said he would love to get in on it. So we'd have, like, a 3-family garden. And Dave was like, oh, well, if we're going to go that big, he's already been in there looking at tillers. They had a tiller. It was his dad's tiller, the one that we always used to till with. And somewhere along the line, after his dad died, his mother gave it away. And since we've not planted the garden, because he's not been able to go down there and work it, and I was not able to. I'm in much better condition now than I was before. I was not able to go help him work a garden. She just gave it away to somebody. He said never to be seen again. So he's already looking up tillers. He said, you can't have one of these that beat the ground. He said, you got to have one that really turns the earth up. And he's got leaves down there. He's got to blow. He said, I'll put them out there, turn them under in it, to keep the moisture in it. And he was telling Holly, now when you do your corn, you do this, and then when you do your beans, you do this, and well, your tomatoes, now that's a whole different story. You got to do your tomatoes like this. And she was taking it all in. She goes, yep, okay. Listen, she was making mental notes. She says she told Nathan, she said, we're going somewhere this weekend to just price out plants. Whatever kind of materials we're going to need to make a garden, whether it be raised bed or whether we put one out there, in where it's in the field. Well, it's like the front yard's a real good size, so the garden was really part of the front yard, but not in the front yard. It was part of the yard before you actually get to the field. The 4 acres we have is a field, and he's looking at tractors. He's got a tractor now that needs to be rebuilt, and he's talking to a man at work who rebuilds them, and he told him how much it's going to be. Well, my gosh, he said, Dad, I could buy a new one. So he's been pricing tractors. He said, I got to go down there and cut that field down. I said, well, I got a question. Why do you have to cut it down? He said, to keep the rats and the snakes down. I'm like, okay then. Holly says she don't want, because she's in the country. I'm going to tell you, she's in the country. She's in Charlotte, but she's in the country. She don't want no rats or snakes up in her house. He says, I got to get that field cut down. Got to get it cut down. Got to keep them out. He said they'll run for the closest woods they can find. I said, no, they're going to scatter wherever they're going to scatter. That creeps her out. I remember one time, oh my gosh. Okay, so when we lived here, just woods in front of us and a field over here beside of us. Well, they come over there one day, and we got house over there now, house out here in front of us. Don't get me started, because you know I'll complain about it for 3 hours. I don't know what I was doing. We didn't have a porch. We just had a stoop. I don't know I can't remember if I was looking out if I was outside. I might have been outside because I'm kind of nosy. And they were over there cutting that field down. That field had caught on fire before too. Now that's scary. Thinking that fire was going to jump over the road and come over here. That was scary. But I mean, this was when I was growing up here, not since we bought the house. This is when I was young. And I was out there. I'm pretty sure then I must have been outside, because I wouldn't have been able to see out the carport window. A rat the size of a cat come flying out of that field, jumped across the road, and went over into the woods in front of me. I was like, oh my gosh, that was the biggest rat. It must have been a wolf rat. Biggest rat I've ever seen in my life. Size of a cat. Can you imagine? If she sees, he's out there cutting that down, because it's grown up, you know. If she sees anything like that come up, running out that field, she will faint. She might want to move. He's got the under the house closed up, where when he does it, can't nothing get up under there. He's got he's working on the vents, but the vents he ordered, they don't work. So he's got the closed, so there's no ventilation under the house at the moment, because he's got it closed down, because he don't want any snakes or nothing to go through there, because there's no wire mesh or anything on the vents. So he's got them closed down. So the house is closed up where can't nothing, get in. But she ain't going to want to see none of that. Hopefully, and the people beside of us got chickens, and they're not bougie. Joan, she'll tell you she got bougie chickens. I ain't saying nothing she ain't said herself. Joan, you got my back. You know your chickens is bougie. These is not city chickens, honey. These is country chickens. The hen house just sitting out in the front yard. The yard all growed up. Chickens just going all over the place. And the yard's fenced in, so the chicken stays on their side. But it's overgrown. It's a mess. And you just hear them chickens out there carrying on, and roosters, and oh boy. So I know them people have rats, because when we had our hen house out there, I done told you last week, with the horse pasture in front of us and the goat pasture beside of us, we had rats up in our hen house. Yes, we did, because we lived this far out of the city limits, and you go off our street, and there's the main road that like cuts through town, right? But when you get back to our trailer, we lived in a trailer where we lived. It looked like we was way out in the country somewhere. It was cool. So we were in a country setting, but we could get anywhere we needed, just, at the blink of an eye. That was back in the day. Listen, that was back in the day. Whataburger sat on that main road. And so Whataburger was here. There was the goat pasture, and there was us. Well, RJ was probably 8 years old. And we would give him money and send him up to Whataburger to get our food. He would walk up through that goat pasture by himself and go up to the Whataburger by himself. You could do that back then. He had a machete, and I would not let him have a pocket knife, and he'll tell you to this day, I would not let him have a pocket knife, because I was afraid he would hurt himself. But I let him have a machete. He's out there, I kid you not. 6 years old, him and his machete out in the horse pasture, just cutting through stuff, playing, getting dirty, just being a little boy. Just turn him loose, let him go, and he'd come on in when he was tired. You could do that back then. You can't. Kids can't do that. And that's RJ. He'll be, oh my gosh, he'll be 37 this year. He's 36. So 30 years ago, you could do that. When Holly came along, 9 years later, it had changed. You couldn't let her go on her bicycle around the block without worrying to death, was somebody going to get her? Things changed just, 10, 15 years period. And the way it is now, oh my gosh, I would never let a child out of my sight if I had one. Never. And just think, when we were young, oh my gosh, we could do anything. We could do anything, go anywhere, get on our bicycles, head down the road, go to the Quick Pick. That's where we used to go. We go to the Quick Pick to get our hot toothpicks. Y'all remember the hot toothpicks? Heck yeah. It's a little restaurant now. But we would get on our bicycles and just ride down the road. We would go up to the corner store across the street, get a whole sack full of candy. I mean, a sack full for a quarter. Because a penny a piece, that's 25 pieces of candy. Good candy. So, but you could get on your bicycle and just do anything. Go through the woods, walk around the neighborhood, the whole 9 yards. I feel so bad that children can't experience that to this day. So that's why I'm glad that Jacob is out in the country where he can go outside and play. Even though mommy's going to be out there with him, he can go outside and get fresh air, and he'll have a garden to learn to play in and get in the dirt. And as soon as he's able to get on a go-kart, whenever that year comes, I can guarantee you, as good as I'm sitting here drinking this coffee, there will be a go-kart track cut into that 4 acres in front of the house. I'm just telling you right now, because David had a go-kart when he was little. He had a 4-wheeler. He did all the things. David did all the things. He had and was provided anything he wanted. And I'm not saying that to say he was spoiled. Well, he was. But he had anything he wanted. They allowed him to do anything he wanted to do. That's why he knows how to do anything. Because they let him explore and experiment, and they bought him, if he wanted to ride 4-wheeler, all right, we'll get you a 4-wheeler. So he got 4-wheeler. You want to ski? All right. Let's put some skis behind this boat. Let's get it. You want to skateboard? Well, come on. Let's go up to the skateboard park. And they'd go up there and they'd take videos of him. You want to play the guitar? We'll get you guitars. Well, anything he wanted to do, they encouraged him to do it. So that's how I know, because he had his go-kart. He has already said he wanted so bad for Sebastian to have one, but he's not down here enough. Even before he started school, if he got one, which he's not big enough to have one, well, he could have had I guess a special kind of little go-kart for a 5-year-old or something. But like even now, he could get in one, but he's not down here a few times a year, and so it's not really worth the expense of having one and storing it and maintaining it for like 3 times a year. And that's sad. It really is. There's things that he wants to do with Sebastian that he's just not going to be able to do. So he will be, knock on wood, able to do it with Jacob. So I know as soon as the time comes, the year arrives that Jacob is go-kart eligible, there will be a track cut into that land. I can guarantee you. Listen, if he has to, he'll build a shed. Well, there is a shed out there. It used to have a covered part that went on it, but over the years it just kind of rotted out. But there is a shed back there. It's not big enough to get a go-kart in. But he would build a garage back there just to store a go-kart. I can just about guarantee you, if it's going to be something for baby girl going to get it. That's what I was telling you about that garden. Yes, Lord, now I don't know how big he's gonna make it this year. If she might, I said, if you just need to start her with just one little one by herself, that's fine. You know, and you can do what you need to do to prepare it for next year because, we got all that talk too. Well, what we do this year will make it ready for next year. so, so I don't know if I'll be getting any garden produce this year or not. If Holly has too much, she'll share with us. I know she will. Um, but she wanted to make sure she did have some hot peppers because she likes them hot peppers. She likes that hot stuff. Ooh, I can't figure out how a little girl that didn't talk until she was halfway through the first grade turned out to be such a girl that stands up for herself, eats hot, spicy food. How she grew into this young lady that she grew into because she was so meek and mild as a child, as a little girl. RJ was too. He's still pretty meek and mild now. He's kind of just a big old teddy bear. He don't get, you know, tore up. He's very level headed. He's very emotional. He's very sensitive. He's very passionate about things. I have two great kids. Two great kids. I love how they turned out. I think they've grown into fine young man and woman. So I guess that's all I know today. I guess I'll get off here and see what I got to do to get this thing uploaded. So to recap, let's recap, shall we? I lost 2.8, and so that puts me at 99.9. 99.9! I couldn't even have had a 0.1 added to that. Oh my gosh. You know, but we're going to see to it next week. You ain't going to get no what I ate today video because I already ate my breakfast and I didn't film it because I wasn't thinking about filming it, and so I didn't. So I don't reckon I'll do another one today. Maybe tomorrow. What's tomorrow? This is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I don't even know if y'all gonna have a chatting hall tomorrow. I ain't been shopping. Listen. I ain't shopped this week. No. I said I was waiting till the end of the week to go. We'll see. If I go tomorrow, I'll see what I can get and put a video up. Maybe. We'll see. And so if I don't see you tomorrow, then I should see you Saturday for meal prep. Yep, that'll be it. Okay. I hope y'all having a good Thursday, whatever time y'all seeing this. I hope y'all having a good one. So I will see you in my next video.